Have you ever wondered why some women possess a magnetic presence, an inner strength that makes everyone in the room notice them? Why are there women whom no one dares to underestimate? It's not coincidence. It's not luck. It's a conscious decision to choose themselves above everything else. Imagine this: you're in an important meeting. Everyone is talking, some louder than others, but there's one woman who, when she finally speaks, everyone falls silent. Not because she shouts, not because she intimidates, but because her presence is so powerful, so authentic, that it's impossible to ignore her. That woman has discovered the secret that Carl Jung, one of the most revolutionary thinkers in modern psychology, revealed to us decades ago: the power of individuality. Jung understood something that many of us forget in our daily lives. He understood that every human being has a unique purpose, an unrepeatable essence. And when a woman decides to honor that essence, when she chooses to be true to herself instead of diluting herself to please others, she becomes an unstoppable force. But let's be honest, the world doesn't always celebrate the woman who chooses herself. From a young age, we're taught to be compliant, to put others' needs before our own, to be good girls. And while we follow these unwritten rules, a part of us slowly withers away. Jung called it the shadow. Those parts of yourself that you've repressed, that you've hidden, because the world told you they weren't acceptable. Your ambition, your anger, your power. All those qualities that, ironically, would make you impossible to underestimate. How many times have you silenced your opinion in a meeting for fear of seeming too much? How many times have you said yes when you really wanted to say no? How many times have you dimmed your shine to avoid making others uncomfortable? Every time you do this, you're sending a powerful message, not just to the world, but to yourself. I don't deserve to be seen. I don't deserve to be heard. I don't deserve to take up space. Jung taught us that this kind of self-denial has profound consequences. Not only does it rob you of your power in the moment, but it creates a pattern in your unconscious. You begin to believe that your value depends on how much you can please others, how much you can fit into predefined molds. But here's the revolutionary truth: your power doesn't come from fitting in. It comes precisely from daring to be different, from honoring your uniqueness, from recognizing that those parts of you that you've been repressing are exactly what will make you unforgettable. The woman no one dares to underestimate isn't the one who follows all the rules. She's the one who has the courage to create her own. She's the one who has looked her shadow in the eyes and said, "I see you, I accept you, and now, together, we're going to transform the world." Jung referred to this process as individuation, the journey of becoming a complete, integrated individual. Not fragmented by social expectations, not divided between who you are and who you think you should be. And this journey begins with a fundamental decision: the decision to choose yourself. Choosing yourself doesn't mean ignoring your responsibilities or living selfishly. It means recognizing that to give your best to the world, you must first be at peace with yourself. It means establishing healthy boundaries. It means saying no to what doesn't resonate with you, so you can say yes to what truly matters. And when a woman begins to live from this place of authenticity, something magical happens. Her energy changes. She no longer needs to raise her voice to be heard, because her presence speaks for itself. She no longer fears rejection, because she knows not everyone has to understand her. She no longer seeks external approval, because she has found the only approval that really matters, her own. Think for a moment about the women you deeply admire. I'm not talking about Instagram celebrities, but those real women who have inspired you, who have left a mark on your life. I bet they all share this quality. They're authentic. They don't pretend to be perfect. They don't apologize for taking up space. They simply are, in all their glorious imperfection. Jung believed that this kind of authenticity isn't a luxury, but a psychological necessity. He believed that when we repress our true nature, when we try to fit into molds that aren't ours, we create an internal conflict that will eventually manifest as anxiety, depression, or a profound sense of emptiness. Does that sound familiar? Have you ever felt that restlessness, that feeling that something is missing in your life, even though you seemingly have everything? Perhaps it's your soul screaming at you that it's time to remember who you really are. Perhaps it's your unconscious telling you that it's enough of living halfway. The path to becoming a woman no one dares to underestimate begins with this awakening. With recognizing that you've been living according to a script you didn't write. With giving yourself permission to question everything you thought you knew about yourself. Jung encouraged us to explore our unconscious, to dive into the depths of our psyche, to discover hidden treasures. And in that internal journey, we often discover that we are much more powerful, much wiser, and much more complete than we ever imagined. Think of it as dusting off a diamond. The diamond was always there, inside you. But layers upon layers of social conditioning, limiting beliefs, inherited fears, have kept it hidden. The process of individuation, of choosing yourself, is simply removing those layers so that your natural light can shine without obstructions. And do you know what happens when you begin to shine like that? The world notices. You can't hide that kind of authenticity. You can't disguise that kind of power. When a woman has found herself, when she has integrated all parts of her being, including those that society told her she should reject, she becomes a force of nature. It's not that she seeks to intimidate. It's not that she's trying to prove anything. It's simply that her connection with her truth is so deep that it cannot be ignored. And that connection transforms not only how others perceive her, but how she perceives herself. The woman no one dares to underestimate doesn't doubt her worth. She doesn't constantly compare herself to others. She doesn't ask permission to exist in all her magnitude. She knows who she is and what she's worth. And that inner certainty is more powerful than any external validation. But getting there requires courage. It requires facing your deepest fears. It requires questioning every should you've internalized throughout your life. You should be kinder. You should take up less space. You should settle for less. Jung invites us to ask, who says I should? Where do these rules come from? And what would happen if I decided to create my own rules, based not on fear, but on self-love? This questioning process can be uncomfortable. It can shake the foundations of your identity. It can challenge relationships you've taken for granted. But as Jung said, there is no birth of consciousness without pain. Growth is never comfortable, but it's always worth it. And as you progress on this path, you begin to notice subtle but profound changes. You find yourself speaking with more confidence. You find yourself establishing boundaries that previously seemed impossible. You find yourself attracted to people and situations that reflect your new level of authenticity. Jung called this synchronicity, that mysterious way in which the outer world seems to reflect your inner world. When you begin to choose yourself, when you begin to honor your truth, the universe responds. The right people appear. The right opportunities present themselves. And what once seemed like a constant struggle begins to flow with surprising ease. But be careful. This doesn't mean everything will be perfect. The woman no one dares to underestimate isn't the one who never faces challenges. She's the one who faces those challenges from a place of inner power, from the confidence that, whatever happens, she can handle it. This confidence doesn't come from a false sense of control over external circumstances. It comes from something much deeper, the knowledge that your value doesn't depend on those circumstances. It doesn't depend on your job, your relationship, your appearance, or how many likes your latest social media post receives. Your value is intrinsic. It's immutable. It's been there since the day you were born, waiting for you to recognize it. And once you do, once you truly internalize this truth, you become untouchable. Don't misunderstand me. I'm not talking about becoming insensitive or building walls. I'm talking about developing roots so deep in your own being that no external wind can knock you down. I'm talking about knowing yourself so intimately that no outside opinion can define you. Jung believed that this kind of self-knowledge was the most important work we can do in life. It's not just about feeling better about ourselves, although that's valuable too. It's about accessing our full potential as human beings. It's about bringing to the world the unique gifts that only you can offer. because that's the truth Jung wanted us to understand. Each of us has something unique to offer the world, something that only we, with our specific combination of experiences, talents, and perspectives, can create. And when we deny ourselves, when we adapt just to fit in, the world loses that gift. The woman no one dares to underestimate has understood this on a deep level. She has understood that her authenticity is not just a gift to herself, but a gift to everyone around her. Because when she gives herself permission to shine, she implicitly gives permission to others to do the same. This is especially powerful in a world that constantly tells women to be less noisy, less demanding, less ambitious. When a woman rejects these limitations, when she says, "I'm going to be exactly who I am, no apologies," she creates a crack in the system, a crack through which other women can glimpse their own freedom. So ask yourself, what parts of yourself have you been repressing? What aspects of your personality have you been hiding for fear of judgment? What desires have you been ignoring because they don't fit with what's expected of you? These questions may seem simple, but their answers contain the key to freeing yourself, to becoming that woman who enters a room and changes the energy with her mere presence, not because she seeks attention, but because she is so fully present, so completely embodied in her power, that it's impossible not to notice her. Jung taught us that this kind of presence isn't something you can fake. It's not a technique you can learn in a weekend workshop. It's the natural result of doing the inner work, of facing your shadows, of integrating all the parts of yourself you've rejected. And although this work isn't easy, although it requires looking directly at aspects of yourself that may be uncomfortable or even painful, the reward is incomparable. Because on the other side of that work awaits a freedom that few women come to know. The freedom to be exactly who you are, without apologies and without justifications. Imagine what it would be like to live like that. Imagine waking up every morning knowing you don't have to pretend. You don't have to dim your light to make others comfortable. Imagine making decisions based not on the fear of disappointing others, but on what truly resonates with your soul. Imagine relationships based not on dependency or compliance, but on mutual respect and shared authenticity. Relationships where you don't have to earn love by being less than who you are, but where you are loved precisely for being completely yourself. This isn't an unattainable dream. It's a real possibility, available to any woman who is willing to do the necessary inner work. To any woman who is willing to challenge limiting expectations and reclaim her innate right to be seen, heard, and valued. Jung believed that this process of individuation was essential not only for our personal well-being, but for the evolution of society as a whole. He believed that a world full of authentic individuals, living from their inner truth, would be a more harmonious, more creative, and more just world. And it makes sense, doesn't it? Think about how much energy we spend trying to be someone we're not. Energy we could be channeling toward our true talents, toward the causes we care about, toward creating a better world for everyone. The woman no one dares to underestimate has liberated that energy. She no longer wastes it on pleasing, on pretending, on reducing herself. She channels it toward what truly matters to her. And that focused energy, that directed passion, is what makes her so magnetic, so inspiring, so impossible to ignore. But perhaps you're thinking, all this sounds good in theory, but where do I start? How can I become that woman? The process begins with awareness, with allowing yourself to see the ways in which you've been limiting yourself, the ways in which you've been denying essential aspects of yourself to fit in or to please others. Ask yourself, what am I afraid to show the world? What parts of me do I feel are too much for others? In what situations do I feel compelled to be less than who I am? These questions are gateways to your unconscious, to those parts of you that have been patiently waiting to be recognized, integrated, and honored. The next step is permission. Permission to be exactly who you are, without filters and without apologies. Permission to take up space, to have a voice, to shine in all your magnitude. This permission doesn't come from outside. It's not something someone else can give you. It's a gift you give yourself, an internal declaration that you've had enough of living halfway, of adapting, of containing your power to make others comfortable. And then comes practice. Because this is a muscle you must strengthen day by day. Every time you dare to speak your truth, every time you establish a healthy boundary, every time you reject an expectation that doesn't resonate with you, you are building that muscle. At first it can be difficult. It can feel uncomfortable, even frightening. But as with any new habit, it becomes easier with practice. And one day you wake up and realize you're no longer trying to be that woman no one dares to underestimate. You simply are. Because you've done the inner work. You've looked your shadows in the eyes and embraced them as valuable parts of your being. You've rejected externally imposed limitations and created your own path. You've found your voice and decided to use it, no matter who might feel uncomfortable with what you have to say. This doesn't mean it will be a path without challenges. The world doesn't always celebrate the woman who dares to be fully herself. There will be those who try to dim your light, who label you as difficult or too much, who try to make you doubt your worth. But when you're firmly anchored in your truth, when you've done the work of knowing and accepting yourself completely, those attempts slide off you. Not because you don't feel them, but because you know a deeper truth, that your worth isn't determined by others' opinions. Jung taught us that this kind of inner freedom is the true goal of human life, not the accumulation of material possessions or external recognition, but the discovery and expression of our authentic self. And when a woman achieves this freedom, she becomes a beacon for others. Her mere existence challenges limiting narratives about what a woman should be. Her courage inspires others to reclaim their own power. Her authenticity creates a space in which others can dare to be authentic too. This is the true impact of becoming a woman no one dares to underestimate. It's not just about how others perceive you, but about how your personal transformation contributes to a collective transformation. About how, by freeing yourself, you help free others. Imagine a world where more women dared to be fully themselves, where more women rejected limiting expectations and lived from their authentic power. Wouldn't that be a richer, more just world, fuller of possibilities for everyone? This is the world Carl Jung imagined when he spoke of individuation as a process that's not only personal, but collective. A world where every human being dared to be exactly who they are, thus contributing to the evolution of collective consciousness. And you, woman who is listening to these words, have a crucial role in this evolution. Your journey toward authenticity, toward becoming someone no one dares to underestimate, isn't just for you. It's a gift for everyone around you, for all the women who will come after you. So I ask you, are you ready to take the first step? Are you ready to look within yourself, to face your fears, to reclaim the parts of you that you've been denying? Are you ready to become the woman who, deep in your being, you know you're destined to be? The path won't be easy. There will be moments of doubt, of fear, even of regret for the comforts you leave behind. But on the other side of that fear awaits a freedom that few women come to know. The freedom to be completely, gloriously yourself. And when you reach that freedom, when you stand firmly in your power, you'll discover that you no longer worry whether someone underestimates you or not, because your value doesn't depend on external validation. It's anchored in something much deeper, much more permanent, the knowledge of who you really are. This is what Carl Jung wanted us to understand. That our true power doesn't come from conforming to external expectations, but from having the courage to be authentically who we are. That our brightest light can only shine when we stop trying to fit into molds that weren't made for us. So I invite you to today, in this moment, make the decision to begin this journey. To take the first step toward becoming a woman no one dares to underestimate, not because you seek to intimidate others, but because you found something much more powerful than fear, the unshakable certainty of your own worth. Remember, you're not alone on this path. Every woman who has dared to challenge expectations, to reclaim her power, to be authentically herself, has left footprints you can follow. And every step you take illuminates the path for those who come behind. This is your moment. It's time to awaken the powerful, authentic, and unstoppable woman you've always been. It's time to choose yourself above everything. Because when you do, when you truly choose yourself, you become a force that no one in this world can ignore or underestimate. If this message has resonated with you, if you felt something within you awaken as you listen to these words, don't let that fire go out. Share this video with another woman who needs to hear it. Leave a comment sharing your own experience or the first step you plan to take on this journey toward authenticity. Remember that every time you dare to be who you truly are, you're inspiring others to do the same. Every time you refuse to dim your light, you're helping illuminate the path for all of us. So subscribe to this channel if you want more content that helps you awaken to your true power, to your authentic essence. Hit the bell to not miss any video that might be exactly what you need to hear in your moment of greatest need. Because this isn't just a channel, it's a community of women committed to their own growth, to their own authenticity, to their own power. And your voice, your experience, your journey is an invaluable part of this community. Thank you for being here. Thank you for having the courage to question yourself, to challenge yourself, to consider the possibility that you can be much more than you've been led to believe. The world needs women like you, women who aren't afraid to shine, women who don't ask permission to exist in all their magnitude, women whom no one, absolutely no one, ever dares to underestimate. See you in the next video, but until then remember, your power isn't something you have to seek outside. It has always been within you, waiting for you to claim it, and the time to claim it is now.